Hey everyone, happy Monday. I am so glad that you're here. This is the place where we keep it honest, inspiring, and entertaining. How's everyone's weekend? Did you guys had a great weekend? I hope you guys did. And I just have to say that God is good, God is great, and I just really appreciate all of you joining in with me live. So let's just get right to it. I have to say, I am so obsessed with crime documentary. I'm just so obsessed with it. And I just get hooked just to get to the mind why people react and do the things that they do, why they hurt people, why, what give them that motivation to do the heinous things that they do. And then the fact of the matter is, you think that you know someone, right? You think you're falling in love. You think that person is your person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with and have a family, let alone they're living a double life, a dark secret, and everything is coming to light and your whole world is shattered, right? So just think about this as you're single, right? And you're on the dating apps and you're swiping right, you're swiping left, up, down, and you come across this attractive young 24-year-old man, 6'4", built, tattoos, nice teeth, dimples. It gets all the women with the dimples. And you thought this person was your person, and next you know it, he seems perfect until he wasn't. Okay? And this is Wayne Stephen Wilson, okay, attractive young man, as you can see. He was probably 24 at the time. Nice teeth, dimples, nice smile, the tattoos, a little bad boy, who wouldn't find this young 24-year-old young man attractive? Who wouldn't? He's a good looking guy. You know what I mean? I like tattoos. I just don't like it all over, like in the neck per se, but to each his own. People have their preference. But he seemed like a very decent, human being until he was not decent, okay? Until he committed acts of murder and killed two women and brutalized other women as well. And this is how he turned out to be a criminal, a known criminal, okay? And supposedly people gave him a name, Deadpool Killer. And and I didn't even know about this story until I watched a documentary of the worst ex ever. And also, I just want the other documentary, The Handsome Devil, Charming Killer, as well. And when I watched the documentary of the worst ex ever, it's just crazy. This is him. This is just crazy. Like, it seemed like, in my opinion, in the documentary that I was watching over the weekend, seemed like this man had his whole life ahead of him. He was young. Did he have problems? Yes, but for him to take a life, not one but two, randomly within an hour, he killed two women. It's just really disturbing. And you should definitely check out The Worst Ex Ever, along with this documentary as well. Let me just remove this. Sorry, you guys. Sometimes my mouse is not working. And there's also this documentary as well, The Handsome Devil, Charming Killer. And by the way, he had a lot of charm. He had a lot of charm. He had a lot of charm. His good looks, even he said it too. That's how he attracts women. That's how he get what he wants, by his good looks, his charm. And most women, they not caught on to it. They were drawn to it. They were drawn by his charisma, his charm, his smile, until they realized who this man really was. And I'm going to briefly tell you about Wayne Wilson and the demonic person that he became. It's just really crazy and incredible, per se. So I'm just going to briefly read to you a description of him. So Wayne Stephen Wilson was born on May 20th, 1994, a North American criminal convicted of the 2019 murder of Kristen, Milton and Diane Ruth in Cape Cod, Florida, due to sharing the name of Marvel character, the Deadpool, which is so crazy, Deadpool Killer. It also continues Wilson was sentenced to death in 2024 after being found guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder, among other charges. Prior to the murder, Wilson had a criminal history dating back to 2022. Now, before I continue, okay, he killed 2 women, both by strangulation. The second strangulation, and assault. He sexually assaulted both of them. And my question is, and when I watch these documentaries, how can someone become a monster like that? Were they born or were they made that way? And I always ask myself that when I watch these documentaries and these people do this heinous acts on other people, were they already monsters in the begin with, or were they born or made this way? It's just crazy to me that that this man can actually put harm on someone. And also with Wayne, he was in and out of jail all his life. All of his life, he was in trouble. And the thing is, he was adopted, you guys. He was adopted by good, loving parents, okay, who were Christian, raised them as a Christian household, good family and everything. And I just don't understand how someone who was adopted and raised by good parents can act like that, can actually just be in and out of trouble and cause harm and do criminal activities. What caused that? What made him a sweet? And I was told by the documentary that he was sweet. He was good in school. He was very popular in middle school and high school, age of 15, 16, and so forth. He was a really good kid. But what changed? What turned him into this criminal deviance for him to do all these things? And it explains it on, I'm reading this from Wikipedia, and explains somewhat why this gentleman, Wayne, acted like this. Then it continues to say, life in early crimes. Wayne, I already read that, 1994. So he was adopted. His biological parents were teenagers when they had him. Obviously, they couldn't raise him because they were so young themselves. I believe his father was 14 or 15 and his mother was younger. So they put him up for adoption, good thing, instead of her aborting the pregnancy. Put him up for adoption because they felt like they couldn't give him a better life opposed to what they, you know what I mean? Because they were young. They were kids themselves. Then he was adopted by Steve and Candace Wilson and raised in Tallahassee, Florida, where he attended Charles High School. During his youth, Wilson was often described as trouble, and was reported involved in minor criminal activities and substance abuse. He also sustained several head injuries during his childhood, 4 concussions in adolescence, which he later cited as a contributor of his feelings of instability. So maybe, 4 concussions, that's a lot. That's a lot. That can affect the brain and in so many different ways. I'm not a doctor, but I can just imagine having 4 concussions and not being treated by that. That can affect a lot. And also in the documentary too, Wayne didn't realize he was adopted. He thought that was his biological mother and father until his adopted mother told him at the age of 15 and 16 that he was adopted. So in a documentary of that the documentary called The Handsome Devil Charming, when Wayne's adopted mother told him at the age of 15 and 16 that he was adopted, something changed, and that's when he reacted and did some criminal activity. Now, I'm not blaming the parents here. If it was me, I would have waited until Wayne was a little bit older to tell him that he was adopted. Because at the age of 15 and 16, you're going through a lot of changes in your body, you're going through puberty, you're going through a lot of stuff. And during this documentary, he questioned himself, well, why my parents didn't want me? Where did I come from? Blah, blah, blah. And then he started to rebel and act. Typically 15-year-old, 16-year-old young boy and females, they rebel. Small stuff, but he rebelled in a whole different way by doing criminal activities. So when he found out that he was adopted, I believe that shook his world. He lost his identity. He didn't know who he was. So he started doing things that he shouldn't have been doing. And it could factor to the 4 concussions that he had as well. So it could be a little bit of both. It continues to say his encounter with the law begins in 2012 in Leon County, where he was involved in various incidents, including burglary, assault, and firearms related to offense. In November 2013, Wilson was sentenced to prison for burglary and grand theft, serving until September of 2014. In 2015, he faced charges of sexual battery and kidnapping after a woman accused him of assaulting her in his vehicle following a party. However, he was acquitted of these charges by a jury. See, if they would have done more investigations, a lot of things would have changed. So as you can see, he's been in and out. It continues to say Leon was a witness to an informant of Leon County Sheriff Office in the 2016 and 2018 case against Brian Winchester, who was also Wilson's cellmate. Wilson said that he was offered $20,000 to kill Wilson's wife. Wilson then informed the police, claiming that he didn't feel right about it. Wilson appeared briefly in Mr. and Mrs. Mildor, giving the police his statement against a former cellmate. Then by 2017, Wilson was incarcerated again for stealing firearms, serving until July 2018. Later in 2018, he was mentioned in a correction with the case of Mike Williams, the target of an alleged murder for hire plotted by his wife, Denise Williams. While serving time with Wilson, he has said he received $20,000 in a white manila envelope at a meetup post-release while on probation to carry out the attack. In February 2019, his former girlfriend reported an incident which he alleged to assaulted her and choked her, although she accused him of kidnapping and rape. Investigators did not pursue these charges due to the lack of evidence and did not do a DNA testing an existing no contact order on July 1st of 2019. Now, this was a big mistake, okay? Now, in the documentary of The Worst Ex Ever, Kelly Matthews, she's the one who pressed charges. She was the first to press charges against Wilson, okay? And this is Kelly Matthews, and this is Wayne. And she's the one that pressed charges because he was supposed to, and I don't want to be spoiler, but I just want to tell you briefly about the documentary of The Worst Ex Ever. So Kelly was done because Kelly found out that he was doing inappropriate things. And, you know, she met him on, I believe, on a dating app. I don't know if it's Plenty of Fish. I call it Plenty of STDs because these are disgusting men. And I don't mean to judge, but I used to be on that dating website when I was single, And once I've met some of these men, disgusting. And that's why I call it Plenty of STDs. Anyhow, I know I'm losing focus here. So Kelly was swiping. She came across Wayne. And by the way, he used his middle name, Steven. He didn't use his legal name. Typically, that's common. Most people don't like to use their legal name to go by their middle name. And that's fine, but he should have just said that in the beginning when he met her. But she found that out later. But during this documentary, they hit it off. They met. It was really hot and heavy, and she was just head over heels. She thought she was going to marry this man, spend the rest of her life with him, blah, blah, blah. It was just too fast and too quick. You know what I mean? Not blaming Kelly here because nothing was her fault, though. However, she just went too fast into this relationship. She saw this good, attractive young man, thinking that he was going to be the one. Looks can be deceiving. You know what I mean? Yes, he's a good-looking man, but I wouldn't rush, to be honest, and have someone live with me right away after 2 weeks or a couple of weeks of dating. Hell no. I'm going to do a background check on you to make sure that you are legit. Even though his pictures look the same on a dating app, I'm not going to let you live with me. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you've been. You know what I mean? That was her first mistake, to be honest with you. She didn't do a background check. She just let this man move into her home with her dogs and then not knowing who this guy really is. For me, I would have done a background check. If she would have done a background check, then she would have known that this man is a criminal, that he's been in and out of jail all his life. Then I believe if she would have done that, none of the situation would have happened. Again, I'm not blaming her because she is a survivor. However, she was just not. I just feel like his looks just bypass everything. And she noticed the red flags and she just ignored it because she even said in the documentary that he apologized, he started crying, he was doing his charisma. Boy, please, okay? When a man cries, that's a sign to run for the hills, okay? That's how they get you, okay? I don't mean to be insensitive here, but that's how they do it. Because they know women like us, we get so like, oh my gosh, you know, most men don't cry. So when you see a man that cries, we feel like we just want to protect them. We just want to say, okay, it's okay, baby. It's okay. Just make sure it doesn't happen again. And boom, they know that they got you. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's what happened. And she let him stay. After the fact that he took her laptop and pawned it for money, and I'm thinking to myself in this documentary when I was watching it, he was a personal trainer. Didn't he even work? Apparently not. And he didn't have a car. That's another red flag. If you know and you're talking to someone and they don't have a car, run for the hills. And this is in Florida. In Florida, you need a vehicle. It's not like you live in New York or Chicago or any other place that has like transportation, Metro North and all that stuff. This is in Florida where they met. And he didn't have a car and he's a personal trainer. He had a job. That's another red flag. All these red flags, she just disregarded because how attractive he is and how good looking. Yes, he is a good looking guy, but looks is not everything. Looks is not important. Attraction, yes, that's important, but looks is not everything. It's about the personality. It's about what they can bring to the table. It's about who they are and doing a background check. That's important. Doing a background check on people. Okay. Anyway, so Kelly Matthew, the ex-girlfriend of Wilson, she thought she met the perfect man until she realized he was not so perfect. And then, so when she called it quits and said she was done, he told her that, that he needs to go to rehab because this can't keep happening because he would just kept doing some crazy things to her, being abusive, verbal abuse, threatened to hurt her dogs and so forth. So Kelly said that I can't take it anymore. You need to go to rehab. So long story short, Wayne told Kelly that he knows someone at the Keys that he can go to rehab. So she took him. They got into her car and they drove, I believe, from where she lived to the Keys. It's like 4-hour drive. She tapped out all her money because that's all he was using her for money. Okay, and they was driving. They had an argument in the car. Next you know it, he had his hands and put her around her neck and strangle her. Okay, strangle her, ripped all her clothes, tied her up with one of her clothes, sent her to the back seat of her vehicle. Okay, and then he assaulted her. Once he was done, he took all of her dirty laundry clothes and placed it all over her while he was driving and just threatened her, say, shut up, don't say anything. And I'm paraphrasing here. If you say one word, I'm going to, hurt you. And he had a pocket knife. He said, if you stick your head out, I'm going to stab you to death. She didn't say anything. He punched her in the face, okay, left her bruises and everything. Next note, once Wayne got to his destination, she didn't get out of the car, okay? There was a woman there waiting for him. She thought everything was perfectly normal. He got his stuff and then he left. Next thing you know, Kelly stormed out of there and she rushed back home. She went straight to her mother's house. Her mother saw her face. Kelly was very hysterical, upset, crying, rightfully so, because she was assaulted and she was beaten up pretty bad. Next thing you know, her mother called the police. They went to the hospital to file a police report. Good, very good. Now, this is what's going to get really upsetting to me and upsetting to you guys. So when Kelly went to the sheriff department in Palm Beach County, she gave her statement. Obviously, there's pictures of her being bruises and everything. And she told this detective, Detective Potter, and he is a special victims unit, okay? He is supposed to help the victims, special victims unit. Now, when you see this video, he does the complete opposite, which it disgusts me. And I can't believe he didn't get fired. He didn't get suspended. He got suspended for 1 week. He's supposed to be suspended for 3 weeks. He got suspended for 1 week. And when you see this video of him, how he interacts with Kelly and Wayne, it's disgusting. This is why women don't come forward. Okay? This is why women don't come forward, because you have men like this, Detective Potter, okay, taking the other person's side instead of doing an investigation and being on the side of the victim, which I don't like, which is absolutely wrong. But take a listen to this interview of Kelly talking to Detective Potter, of the incident. And I just feel like he was just not hearing her. You know what I mean? In my opinion. But take a listen.
Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office was in charge of the investigation, and Detective Potter was put on a case against Wade.
That's Kelly. By the way.
My name is Detective Potter. I'm with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, the Special Victims Unit.
One time in the car, you said that's when he assaulted you. What do you mean by assaulted you?
He had sex with me without my consent.
Explain that to me. Help me understand.
See, I don't like that part. Explain that to me. If a woman's telling you that he had sex with me without my consent, what do you think that means, my guy? Like, is the detective dumb? Like, he had sex with me without my consent. He forced himself into me. And he's saying, explain it. Like, explain what? He took his pee-pee and put it in me without my consent. I said no, and he continued to do it. I don't know what part he don't understand. That's why it infuriates me. I don't understand that. But let him continue.
Understand what you mean.
I pulled my pants down and stuck it in without my consent.
Stuff what?
His penis.
And he said, stuff what? What do you think? A pencil? Like, what is this? Like, this is just so absurd. Like, if she's describing to you what he did, why you need to get more graphic details? You're a guy. You should know. I just get so mad because I just feel like he's just not hearing her. And I just feel like he's just trying to make her feel more uncomfortable, even though she was assaulted. Just makes no sense. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay. Did he use a condom? Did he say anything? Okay.
Doing the best thing, and that I was going to get justice.
Not wrong.
Happened to me. I was happy to give them all this information and DNA and everything else.
Then the next day, they found Wayne so happily just volunteered to talk to the Detective Potter, and Detective Potter wanted to hear his side of the story. I'm going to pause right here because the volume is really, really low. So I'm going to show you a better image of the video of the interview with Detective Potter with Wayne. So let me just pull up another video so you can hear him more loud.
The option to tell me, hey, I didn't kidnap, I didn't rape, and I didn't assault that woman.
Yeah.
And I have to believe you.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What is happening here? He has to believe him without even doing a DNA. You saw pictures of Kelly's face and everything. I don't understand this. I don't know if it's some type of tactic for Wayne to trust him. I don't know what it is. But it seemed like to me, by this interview so far, it's like he's taking Wayne's side opposed to the victim. Like he already made his conclusion that Wayne is innocent and Kelly's just like, she's guilty. That's my impression, what I'm getting at this video, at this interview.
So with that said, did you kidnap her? Did you take it to the Keys to Key Largo against her will?
No. Listen, and let me just say, Detective Potter, like, I need to say this, like, I've caused her no harm. Physically, nothing, dude. I haven't done nothing ever since I've known her.
That's all I need to hear. You know that, and I know that.
Like, what? That's all you need to hear? You're not saying, wait a second, let me just get your DNA. Nothing. Again, this is why this is the prime reason why domestic violence and sexual assault people choose to stay silent. That's the main reason, because detectives like him, scumbag in my opinion. That's why, because you taking a man's side without even doing your further investigation, not even testing the DNA of both of them. It's just crazy to me. Absolutely crazy.
You know what I'm saying? She said he beats me, he does this, he does that. You know, and I'm like, well, I just don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not doubting you, man. You're doing
Listen, I'm
great.
trying to let you know, yeah.
No, you're doing great, and you're a smart man. You know, you're on the right track.
Thank you.
But you know why we're here. She wants this to go quick because there's an ulterior motive, which sucks because she is my victim, so I got to give her 100% of my abilities. But I ain't putting the wrong man in jail.
Unbelievable. I'm not putting the wrong man in jail. So you already made your conclusion that he's innocent without even doing further investigation. What kind of crap is this? What kind of crap is this? How do you say that? Does he say that he is for the victims when you're not for the victims? How can you continue to work as a special crime unit when you're not even for the victims? You're basically taking his side. Now, if he would have done his job the correct way, these two women that died by the hands of this demonic man, they probably would be here right now. But he didn't do his job, and two women are dead. Two women are dead because this particular detective did not do his job because he thought he was innocent.
I'll be damned if I do that.
That's all I want, dude. Like, I just want her to stop, man. Please, like, that's all I need.
That'll never happen from this
Thank you
department.
so much.
Right
Like,
now.
honestly.
Never happened in this department. Can you believe that? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Shame.
Thank you. Like,
None of our people are going to do that.
yeah, thank you so much, dude.
And you know he's happy. You know he had a big smile on his face, and with his charms and the way he was speaking to the detective is absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Anyway, the next video that I want to show you that his father, okay, after Wayne killed the second woman, Diane Hughes, Wayne broke into a couple's house. Thank God there were snowbirds and they went to Idaho, and it wasn't there, because if they were there, the couple, I guarantee he would have killed them. And even Wayne said it. You know, he said kill, 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 murder, murder, murder. Okay, and he even said when he's on drugs like cocaine, he is a different person. He said he's the devil. In his own words, not my words. He said he's the devil, and he is the devil. Okay, by taking two lives and assaulting women, he's a devil. It seems like when he's on drugs, especially cocaine, he lost his mind. He's someone else. He's a monster, hideous monster. So his father, he wanted to get away. So long story short, he called his father. He wanted to get away because the cops were looking for him. And his father said, well, let me know where you're at so I can get an Uber for you so you can just take off and leave. Not knowing that his father already called the cops already. And then as soon as Wayne told his father the location where he was, that's when the police officer came through and arrested him. And a lot of people are saying, well, how can he do this to his own son? How can he turn his son in? Hello? He killed two people. He assaulted multiple women. Yes, his father did the right thing. And I commend his father, because if it was my kid, I would turn them in too. Because I didn't raise you to be a criminal. I didn't raise you to put harm on anyone. So his father absolutely did the right thing. And his father testified. And he confessed. The man confessed. The man confessed that he killed these two women and he enjoyed it and he loved it. Okay? So I don't understand why people are being upset with the father. The father did the right thing. His conscience is clear. It's good. You have to do the right thing. If you know that your son or daughter are doing something, and I get it, that's your child, that's your blood. However, you have your son or daughter have to take accountability of what they did. You can't just, enable them and say that it's okay, you're going to be okay. What you did is bygone be bygone. No, you took another human's life. So therefore, he needs to be punished, which he did. So I commend the father. The father did the right thing, and most parents need to do that. Okay, if you know your son or daughter committed a heinous crime and did something, turn them in. Sorry, Did you raise them to take a life? Did you raise them? And I get it. It will hurt. I get it. However, if he didn't turn his son in, he would have killed another person and another person. And then his blood would be on his hands. You get what I'm saying? So the father did the right thing. But take a listen to his testimony. The father, Stephen, testified against his son and what his son said over the telephone, that he confessed, he enjoyed it. He just heard kill, murder, et cetera, et cetera. Take a listen to what Wayne's biological father said in the, during his testimony.
At some point have a conversation with your wife about him getting in touch with you, wanting your help.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, during the time that he was supposed to call, about what time was he supposed to call back?
I told him around dinner time.
Now, between the time he first called that day and dinner time, did you receive a call from a detective?
Yes, ma'am.
And was that detective looking for your son?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when the detective was looking for your son, did you have any idea at that point of what had happened?
No, ma'am.
Did the detective want you to try to help them get in touch with your son?
She just gave me a number and said if he calls you back, we need to talk to him.
Okay. Now, did he end up calling you later that evening?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did he tell you in that call that evening?
The final call?
Nope, the call before the final call.
He just told me, he did something. There was 2 people gone that would not be back. He said, I'm a killer. I just told him to call me back. I just thought it was another story,
So at this point, when he says that there were 2 people that wouldn't be with us and that he was a killer, did you put a lot of weight into that?
No, ma'am.
Do you think he was just telling you a story?
He's a good storyteller.
So did he then call you back a third time?
Yes, ma'am.
What time did he call you back?
It was around 10 o'clock.
I want to go back to that dinner time call. When he talked about these 2 people who were no longer with us and that he was a killer, did he show any type of remorse?
No, ma'am.
Absolutely not.
So let's go now to the 10 o'clock call. Again, your wife knew about kind of what was going on during that day.
Yes, ma'am.
And when he called back at 10, did he go into more details about what he had told you earlier?
Yes, ma'am.
So let's start with the first girl. If you could tell the jurors, what did he tell you?
He just said he met a girl at a bar. They went back to her house, hung out for a little bit, and then she fell asleep.
What did he say happened after she fell asleep?
He said he got on top of her and choked her.
What name did he call her? Did he refer to her in a derogatory term?
He said, I choked that bitch.
Okay. And what did he say he did after he choked her?
He said he stayed in the house for a little while, and then he rolled her up and was going to try to put her in her trunk, but he couldn't lift her.
Did he say why he was unable to put her in her trunk?
He said that he felt like rigor mortis had started to set in.
And does rigor mortis make your body stiff? You didn't know?
I think so. Yeah.
So he just told you that that was the reason that he couldn't lift her and get her into her trunk?
Yes, ma'am.
And when he said her trunk, it was the trunk of her car he was going to put her in?
Yes, ma'am.
So what did he tell you he did when he couldn't get her body into her own trunk?
He left her there and took her car.
What did he say about the second girl?
He said he saw her walking down the street.
And the second one that the defense, the prosecutor is referring to is Diane Ruse. So she was on her way to work, okay? Let me just say really, she was on her way to work. So where she lives was not far from her job. First she was at the school, then she was on her way to work. And I believe she was walking, and then that's when Wayne saw her. And I guess he was asking her a question. The question was, I believe, he was asking where is another high school or high school's location or whatever. and I believe that she told him, I believe, or I don't know what happened, what transparent. I don't know if he grabbed her, but he said that she got inside the car so he can so she can direct him. And I'm thinking, so, nobody in their right mind will get inside of a random stranger's car to show them directions where a high school is. Sorry, I believe he probably threatened her. That's why she left her bag. That's why her bag was left in front of the school. He took her against her will and got her, and she got into the car, and then they took off. That's what happened. Okay, not the other way around. That he is telling people that she willingly got into the car and showed them some direction. That's bullshit. No one in their right mind will get inside a person's in their car randomly. I don't believe it. So that's that other woman that he killed, he assaulted, and ran over her multiple times. In his words, like a spaghetti. Disgusting. This man is demonic. When you look at his eyes, it's black. Black. There's no soul. There's no empathy. There's no remorse. There was nothing there. There's no soul in that man. So I'm glad that he's getting the death penalty, because there's no reason for him to be on this earth, in my opinion. He hurt and abused a lot of women, and there was no remorse of it. None whatsoever, in my opinion. So the justice system, I'm going to say they did a good thing by sentencing him to death. Let's continue.
And stopped and asked her for directions. And she got in the car with him.
What did he say
Bullshit.
happened once she got in the car with him?
He said he reached over and choked her.
And did he tell you that he choked her while he was driving?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, what did he say happened after he choked her?
He said he was looking for a place to put her body.
Did he find a place where he eventually dumped her body?
Yes, ma'am.
What did he tell you about the situation when he got to the place where he was going to dump her body?
He said that he pulled her out of the car and realized that she was still breathing.
So what did he tell you he did when he realized she's still breathing?
He said he got back in the car and ran her over until she looked like spaghetti.
As he's telling you all these things, what's his demeanor as he's telling you?
He was excited.
When you say excited, what do you mean by that?
I felt like he was wanting me to feel the way he felt about it.
Did he seem proud of it?
Yes.
Did he seem to show any kind of remorse?
Oh, ma'am.
And was he able to go into great...
I don't know if you noticed in the documentary of the handsome devil, charming killer, you see the woman in the back. I can't remember her name, but she basically was one of Stephen's girlfriend. Okay, while he was incarcerated for this trial of murdering two women. Okay, she basically gave him money for Gucci suits and shoes and stuff like that. She was supporting a killer, even though the evidence was so overwhelming and everything was stacked against this man. She's still supporting him. She was still going to the trial and everything until she realized, when Diane's daughter, testified, that's when she had epiphany, like, oh, okay, he really did it. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand some of these women that just like support killers. He killed 2 women and insulted other women to his ex-girlfriends. And then for these crazy unhinged women that wrote like hundreds of letters and phone calls to Wayne and supporting him and doing a GoFundMe, you're supporting a murderer. You're saying that it's okay for this man or any man to assault, abuse women. You're saying that it's okay. And that's just crazy to me. And to me, when women support men like that, you have to look at them like, who are they? Who are they? For someone to support a man as demonic and evil and have no remorse, no guilt, don't even apologize, to support him with legal support, offer him money, sex texting, pictures, is absolutely disgusting and disturbing to me, in my opinion. But let's continue.
Detail about both of these ladies' deaths.
Yes, ma'am.
The second girl that he killed and left in the slot, did he think that she would be found?
No, ma'am.
He seemed to think he did a good job hiding her body.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the whole time that he's telling you these details, is your wife hearing any of these details?
I had the phone on speakerphone.
Now, prior to him telling you these details, how did you feel about turning him in to law enforcement?
I initially wanted to help him.
Did you feel conflicted about giving him over to law enforcement
Yes,
initially?
ma'am.
At some point when you're talking with him, did that feeling change?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
I just thought, what if that was my mom or my daughter or sister or wife?
A normal reaction to think like that. See, he thought, if it was my mother, my daughter, my sister, what would they? See, a normal reaction. But most people were just blaming the father. You shouldn't have done that. He's your son. Why would you turn him in? You gave him for adoption. This is the thing that you're doing, that you just turned your son in? Yes. Because he was thinking logically. He was thinking logically, like, what if this happened to my wife, to my sister, to my daughter? You have to do the honorable thing by turning someone in. You can't just reward for someone taking another person's life, whether they're your blood or not. It's wrong. Murder is wrong. If it wasn't wrong, then they wouldn't have laws. They wouldn't pass laws for it. It's wrong to take a life. It's wrong to murder someone, and for not for them to be held accountable for it is just ridiculous. Like, it's okay. Until this day, they think that this man is innocent. That's the crazy part. His his wives. They call them Wayne's wives. They think he's innocent. They think he's set up. Even the fact that this dum-dum confessed. Not once, not twice, multiple times. He confessed killing. But they still believe his innocence. Is that crazy? Unbelievable.
I wouldn't want somebody to do that.
And did you have additional concerns of what might happen if you didn't turn him into law enforcement?
Yes, ma'am.
What was that, sir?
He would have done it again.
Exactly.
Now, after he's...
Okay, we can stop right there. You get the gist of it, though. Now, the last video I want to show you is the verdict, and you can just look at his face, his expression. He didn't give a flying F. He didn't care. Okay, but take a look at the reaction when he was sentenced to death. To death. Take a look.
Further considered whether Wade Wilson should be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole or death. We, the jury, find by a vote of 10-2 that Wade Wilson should be sentenced to death. Dated this 25th day of June, 2024.
Look at his eyes. No soul. Look at him. He don't care. There's no remorse. There's nothing there. There's no empathy. He can care less if he live or die. Darkness. That's what it is. Darkness.
In Lee County, Florida, 4-person, 234.
Okay. Before I go, you guys, I just want to give you my input. Listen, dating world is scary. Okay, it's scary. It's hard. I know people are trying to find their person and want to get married and settle down. The only thing I can suggest, if you meet someone, please do your research. Do a background check. Because even though he or she seems so perfect or too good to be true, you never know. I'm not saying that might not be a good person out there. Of course there is. However, if you notice any red flags, anything that's off, go with your gut instinct. Don't let your feelings judge your judgment, if that makes sense. Because this person is attractive, or this person is nice, this person make you laugh. Any inkling of a red flag, run for the hills, for goodness sake. Run for the hills. That's not what Kelly did, and I'm not blaming Kelly at all. I'm not blaming none of the victims. Even his other girlfriend, they tried to warn her. She didn't want to listen. She didn't want to listen. Not saying that it's her fault either, but she put him in jail. She took him out. She bailed him out. I just don't understand. I just don't understand sometimes an irrational thinking. Again, they could have been young. And when you're young, you're in love. You're not thinking about all that stuff. You just think you're on cloud nine, and all you're thinking about is just all the, what's the word? Like in a fantasy world. You know what I mean? And not realizing the red flags that you're seeing, and then you just ignore the red flags because the particular person is trying to convince you just that what happened, blah blah blah. But you have to go with your gut instincts. You have to read the room. You have to see the red flags, and if you notice the red flags, leave, run, go with your gut instincts because you just never know. And on top of that, do a background check on the person. Make sure this person don't have a criminal past or criminal record or something. If they have a criminal past or record, you know you got your answer. That person is not for you. Move on. Yes, it will suck. Yes, you have to start all over, but it's better than being alive. You rather be alive than dead. Because these other two women, they're gone. They're not coming back. Because if that detective would have done his job, probably these women would have been alive. If the other exes would have not bailed him out, probably these women would have been alive right now. And I know they're beating themselves up, but Kelly did the right thing, okay? But she put him in jail, then she bailed him out. But she should have just kept him locked up. But he used his fake crocodile tears and used his charm, because he even said that's what he's good at, using his charm to manipulate, to gaslight, to get what he wants. And he knew it too. He knew he was good looking. He knew he was good looking. He knew what he was intending to do with his good looks, to use and abuse women. And all I'm saying at the end of the day, just do your diligence. Am I saying it right? Just do your research. Okay, I can't even say the word, but you get what I'm saying. Just do your research. Do a background check, because you never know. By doing that background check, it will save you heartache. It will save you headaches. It will save you time, and also it can save your life. Now, these other women, bunch of fools who want to marry him, who support him, who think they're innocent. You're crazy. These women that support him, that huge fans, they're crazy. I don't understand how these people support killers. With that, for example, that guy who shot that the United Healthcare CEO, what's his name? I can't think of his name, but you know what I'm talking about. They think he's hot. He's good looking. They're supporting him. It's just crazy to me. To me, I have to look. I have to think, like, what happened to their, not childhood, but for women who are drawn to serial killers, that are drawn to people that hurt other people, you have to look to the factor of their life. Like, what is missing in their life that they find these men attractive, that they kill for no reason? They kill for funsies, but you find them attractive. You think they're innocent when they confess. I don't understand this. I just don't understand this, how some of these women found this guy, Wayne, attractive, and want to support him and give him money, do a GoFundMe. You're supporting a criminal. You're supporting someone who murdered a woman that had kids, a fiance, another woman who had a daughter, who had her life, and you supporting that by giving this man money, giving him attention, instead of saying kick rocks. You're sick too. He's just as evil. These women that support Wayne, just as evil as well. Anyway, that's all I have to say about it, you guys. But definitely check out this documentary. Again, it's Worst Ex Ever, Season 2. That's on Netflix. And also documentary Handsome Devil Charming Killer. That's on Paramount, I believe. Yeah, Paramount. Definitely check it out. This is crazy. It just came, in my lap when I was watching this. I never heard of this story ever until I was watching a documentary. I'm like, shoot, where have I been? But I was living my best life when I was still living in New York. So I had no idea about this whole murder killing in 2019. I was like, 39, I believe? Yeah, I was 39. I had no idea this was all going on. But my condolences to the family that lost their loved ones, those two women. It's sad. It's sad. It's unfortunate. I feel like the sheriff could have done better, but he didn't. He failed. He failed Kelly. He failed the victims that died. He failed because if he would have done his job the right way, And like I said, these women could have been possibly been alive today, but we will never know, right? We will never know. But anyway, you guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me live. I really appreciate each and one of you. Stay safe. God bless. And I will see you guys on the next live. Take care.